You wake up to 37 unread messages. You scroll through 200 Netflix titles and can't pick one. You spend hours comparing gym memberships, meal kits and dating apps, paralyzed by infinite options. Freedom, choice, autonomy. These words sound like liberation, but for millions they feel like a trap. The French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre saw this coming. In 1943 he wrote, "Man is condemned to be free, condemned, not empowered, not blessed, condemned." Why? Because freedom isn't a gift, it's a sentence. A life sentence of crafting meaning in a world that gives you nothing but blank pages. Today we're dissecting the hidden tyranny of modern freedom, why endless choices exhaust us, why finding yourself feels impossible, and how existentialism, the philosophy of radical responsibility, might just save your sanity. Let's start with a paradox. You've never had more options and never felt more stuck. Want a career? You can be a UX designer, a TikTok influencer, a blockchain consultant, or a professional sourdough baker. Want love? Swipe through thousands of faces, filter by height, zodiac sign, or whether they like hiking. Want purpose? Choose from 10 religions, 100 self-help gurus, or 1,000 productivity hacks. This isn't freedom. It's a maze with no exit. Psychologists call it choice overload, but Sartre called it the human condition. In his book, he argued that freedom isn't about doing what you want, it's about in a universe devoid of inherent meaning. Terrifying, right? Imagine walking into a library where every book is blank. You have to write them all. That's existential freedom, and we're drowning in it. Sartre's existentialism begins with a brutal truth. There's no divine plan, no destiny, no true self waiting to be found. You're born a blank slate, and every choice you make, from your career to your coffee order, defines you. He wrote, "Existence precedes essence." Translation, you exist first, then you create your essence through actions, no pressure. But here's where it gets messy. Modern capitalism hijacked this idea. It sold us a lie. But instead of empowerment, we got anxiety. Why? Because anything is a void. Without boundaries, freedom becomes a prison. Think of a toddler in a toy store. At first, they're thrilled. Then they melt down, overwhelmed by too much stimuli. That's you, that's all of us. Let's break down why infinite choice paralyzes us. First, studies show that when faced with too many options, we freeze. In a famous experiment, shoppers offered 24 jam varieties were 10 times less likely to buy than those offered 6. More choices equals more regret. Did I pick the right one? Could there be something better? Sartre called this the dizzying awareness of your own freedom. Second, every decision now feels high stakes. Dating isn't about connection, it's about swiping until you maximize compatibility. Fitness isn't about health, it's about biohacking your way to peak performance. Even leisure isn't restful, it's about self-care checklists and Instagrammable vacations. We've turned life into a never-ending audit. Third, previous generations had scripts: get married, work one job, retire. Today, you're the author, editor and critic of your life story. Every day you're asked, no wonder we're exhausted. But Sartre didn't just diagnose the problem, he offered a cure. And it starts with a mindset shift. Stop seeing freedom as a buffet of options and start seeing it as a responsibility to choose. He wrote, "We are our choices, not our thoughts, not our potential, our choices." Here's how to apply this. Embrace your condemned freedom. A prisoner has no choices, you have too many. But both share one truth. Their situation is inescapable. Sartre argued that freedom isn't about changing your circumstances, it's about changing your relationship to them. For example, you hate your job. You could quit, or you could reframe it. I choose to stay because it funds my art. Even in chains, you're free to choose your mindset. This isn't toxic positivity, it's existential grit. Create boundaries to escape the void. Infinite freedom needs fences. Sartre wrote, "Hell is other people, but hell is also too many tabs open. Impose limits. Choose 3 career paths to focus on, delete the rest. Date one person at a time. Watch whatever's in your continue watching queue. Constraints aren't cages, they're guardrails against the abyss. Define your own essence." Remember, Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Existence precedes essence. You're not born with a purpose. You build it. Start small. Write a personal constitution." What values will guide your choices? For example, curiosity over certainty or connection over validation. When faced with 47 options, filter them through your constitution. Example, a job offer pays less but aligns with your value of creativity? Take it. A dating profile looks perfect but feels emotionally shallow? Swipe left. Your essence isn't found, it's forged. Step 4, accept the anxiety. Sartre didn't promise peace. He promised authenticity. Life begins on the other side of despair, he wrote. The anxiety of choice never goes away, but it can become a compass. Feeling uneasy about a decision? Good. It means you're awake. Numbness is the real enemy. Let's get practical. Meet Maria, a 29-year-old graphic designer. She's overwhelmed by freelance gigs, side hustles, and pressure to build her brand. She sleeps with her phone, terrified of missing an opportunity. Maria's problem isn't workload, it's freedom. She's drowning in coulds. I could learn 3D animation and start a YouTube channel, launch an NFT collection. Sartre would tell her, "You're free, so act, not feel or manifest, act." Maria chooses 3 priorities. 1, creative projects that excite her. 2, clients who respect her boundaries. 3, weekends off. She declines everything else. Is she leaving money on the table? Yes, but she's buying back her sanity. Or take James, a 34-year-old stuck in dating limbo. He's cycled through 100 first dates, ghosting anyone who isn't perfect. Sartre would call this lying to yourself to avoid responsibility. James isn't waiting for the one, he's hiding from commitment. Solution? He picks one person to explore deeply, flaws and all. No more swiping, no more comparisons, just presence. This isn't about getting it right, it's about getting it. Sartre wrote, Jean-Paul Sartre, VO. Everything has been figured out except how to live. We'll never solve that puzzle, but we can stop pretending the pieces aren't in our hands. Modern society worships freedom but sells us escapism. Mindfulness apps to quiet existential dread, productivity hacks to outsource choices, AI tools to optimize our lives, but Sartre warns, Jean-Paul Sartre, VO, there are no exit routes. You can't automate authenticity. You can't delegate your essence. Every time you let an algorithm choose your playlist, an influencer dictate your goals, or a quiz define your personality, you surrender your freedom. And worse, you miss the point of being alive. So where do we go from here? Start small. Today, make one unoptimized choice. Watch a movie without checking reviews. Order the special without scanning the menu. Text someone without over-editing. Then notice, did the world end? Or did you feel alive? Sartre's existentialism isn't a cure for decision fatigue. It's a mirror, a reminder that freedom isn't a burden. It's the only thing we own. The next time you're paralyzed by options, hear his words, Jean-Paul Sartre, VO. You are nothing else but what you live, not what you plan, not what you dream. What you sow, live boldly, limit bravely, and remember, the tyranny of freedom only breaks those who refuse to choose.